Don't, by Gabriella Batel. Chapter 1. 4 a.m. It must be, if the pain's this intense. I sit on my mattress, my temple rested against my bedroom window, a fuchsia headscarf protecting my smooth scalp from the frost-edged glass. A small wooden crucifix dangles from my fingers as I wait for my phone to chime. Not that I know how I'm going to tell him. My eyes slide closed. Where there should be a set of eyelashes scraping against the window, there's a void. At least my heartbeat seems normal today. If this next treatment doesn't work, then... My grasp closes around the crucifix until the wood bites into my hand. I shift my gaze to the small statue. A dart of pain splits the backs of my eyes because of it, but I force myself to focus on the iron corpus, on the icy glow that stray light from the porch lights outside gives it. I uncurl my fingers and brush my thumb over his marked hand. "Please," I whisper. It's not much more than a breath between my dry lips. I'm never sure what I expect to come of it. Nothing came of it last time. So I force out that one word and hope the prayer means more to him than it does to me. There's the chime. I contain a grimace as I twist toward my glass nightstand, where my phone sits screen down. My tactical knife is folded behind it. I extend my arm. The small expansion of my chest grinds, and my smooth heart rate spasms, but I manage to get a hold of my phone. Its light cuts through the dark, and I blink as my lock screen comes into focus. The three of us at the wedding 6 months ago. Tristan in a white tuxedo, Mercedes in a long periwinkle dress, me in a maroon gown to match my head wrap. All of us with our arms around each other, all beaming like the world was perfect. It was. Where did that go? I unlock the screen and go to my texts. From Tristan. Awake? I swipe a response with my thumb. Always. I send it, then kill the screen so I'm sewn up in darkness again. The house is so still that the only sound is my wheezy breathing, until a second later, when there's the almost imperceptible creak of a door opening down the hall. Tristan's long strides, socks deadening the noise against the laminate floor, and a tiny knock, more out of decorum than anything. I adjust my grasp on the crucifix as my doorknob twists and my stepbrother's tall frame slips in. I could swear the space he needs to get in becomes smaller and smaller each time. He's still strongly built, but he's thinner ever since what happened to his father. Tristan's head is tipped down, hiding his eyes. When he's in the sun, they're bright green, behind thick, dark blonde lashes. He shuts the door, careful to turn the knob so it doesn't click and wake up Mercedes downstairs. And maybe my mom, too. She should be on the graveyard shift, but the pregnancy's been harder lately, so I can't assume. Tristan strides across the room, past my glass desk and dust-filmed laptop, my ebony-stained dresser, and the bathroom, and draws back my thick, dove-gray drapes. The fabric gives a sandy swish as it slides along the curtain rod. The whole time, Tristan clasps a folded pocket knife in his hand. He sets himself down on the foot of my bed and never looks at me. His line of sight is fastened outside. I look at him, hold him hard with my gaze, waiting for a moment when our eyes will meet. My bare feet, on top of my fleece blankets, tingle from the chill. Everything outside is covered in frost. The young trees, leafless in dormancy, the cookie-cutter houses encased in pastel vinyl, and the square of cement in front of our house where my mother held his bleeding father. Tears spring up in my eyes. I blink them back. My temple is numb from the cold and the pressure of the glass. I shift in my propped position, and as I do, a jab threads across my sternum down my wrist. This time, I can't contain a wince. Now Tristan looks at me. In the moonlight, half of his face is deathly pale. The other half is shaded to pitch black. On both sides, his eyes are tight at the tips. His shoulder shifts. Next thing I know, his hand rests on my foot. His fingers are warm and leave soothing lines on my skin as he gently squeezes, careful of my tender bones. I wait for the side of his mouth to twitch back the way it used to. It was never to tell me that I would get better, never promising anything he couldn't follow through with, but he was promising that he was there, and that was enough. It never comes. Dew has collected on the corner of the window as if the glass is mourning. I flex my jaw. We set the date. Tristan's green eyes search me for a few seconds, but nothing else about him moves, not even his chest as he breathes. When his lips finally open, it's like watching a fracture in ice.
When?
2 months. I fly out March 9th. The procedure's 2 days later. For another moment, he doesn't move. When he does, it's only a wordless nod. I see through the calmness, though. A muscle bulge under his ear. A fidget with that pocket knife his father gave him. The shift of his gaze to and from me, like he can't bring himself to meet my eyes but is afraid I'll be gone if he doesn't. Then he looks down. I drop my eyes to the same place just as he wraps both of his hands around one of mine, the one with the crucifix, and braces it around the wood. I didn't realize I was shaking. His cedar body wash fills my sore lungs. I sigh quietly. Tristan... My hand slips loose, trembling again once his touch is gone. Tristan's gaze shoots out the window. The motion catches my eye, too.